Okay, welcome back to my channel again, and today I'll continue on sharing my story. So I'll title today's talk, Some People's Audacity Will Spoil You to Be Better. Either ways you look at it. So let me just continue with the story on my secondary school experience. I talked about what happened in GSS1, as we would call it. And I want to talk about what particularly happened in GSS 2. Yeah, GSS 2. So what happened was, we're in class that particular day, and the computer science teacher had decided, okay, there was this guy who did so well in GSS1, who did so well in his course, and then he wanted to know the guy, and he asked the class, who was the best student that in my course last time? So obviously, I think in a way the class pointed at me, or I was sure identified. And what happened was very strange. There was this girl in class that day. I don't know whether she stood up. She just decided to say from where she was that girls will be next. I looked at her and I was like, this girl thinks it by talking. But I'm reminding you that the title of this talk is Audacity. Some people's audacity will spoil you to be better. Now, when she said it, first of all, I'll just gloss over it because it's something I believe that the hard work to do it, I've seen that. God has been faithful, but I mean the hard work to maintain that place is something I believe you don't attain it by just saying some guess will be next. No, you don't do that. You work for it. So when you said guess will be next, I say okay, let's find out. I didn't say that like I just calm, just be. So I was like, no, you just smile like okay, what? But you are like, well, let's say scared in a way, thinking, who is this girl? So, you know what happened? We went on with the what I call it, term. We call it term. That time what you call semester. We went on with the term, and in that term something happened. As we were writing tests, this girl was doing well. I mean, like, if I score 70-70, as they say that time, she would score 70-70. Then there was a test we wrote, that was English language. I scored 69/70, she scored 70-70. I was young and immature then. I cried though. I was like crying. This girl that said girls will be next. Obviously, girls will be next. So that kind of feeling. But that was just a test. So when that thing happened, I now tightened my academic bet very well, because it was like the guess will be next thing. It's like it was coming to pass. So what I did was tighten our academic bet. As God would have it, she said this thing in like first term of GSS2. After first term, results were released. I think I maintained my position as being best overall, but I think I was dropping some subjects and she was like outrunning me in those subjects. But if you look at the fuller picture, I was like best overall. But I was noticing that this girl was close, man. I mean, like she's taking some, subjects and, she's really coming close. So it's like that trend where you see like in my results, you see first, second, and those places where I get few seconds, she's taking first. And those all places where I'm getting first, she's getting second for everything. So she's close, man. So second term, another twist. A guy came from another school and came to the school. He came to my school where I was schooling that. And it was later I got to know that this guy came particularly because of me. He saw me as like a worthy competition. I mean, when I was sharing his story, later when we will graduate, he said that GSS1 during the validation service that he was hearing, like they called one particular person for the 15, was like, okay, let him come and challenge. So he came from another school to my school in second time GSS2 to come and challenge me. So as God would have it, that particular time, the people arrayed themselves behind me. I stayed as first, that GSS 2 first, that GSS2 first term, GSS2 second term rather. That GSS2 second term, I was first, the lady was second, the guy was like third, and the guy and the lady were like struggling between first and second and third. But I maintained my position as. But I saw the way they were close. There was this the class now was not made up of the elite theory. Anybody mess up, the other person smashes. So, and I knew that there was a lot of work to do for the third term, because the third term that will determine who will be the best in that class, particularly for that term. So I went to tighten my belt, did what I had to do, and JSS2 ended wonderfully again. By the way, I will share my story with you bit by bit. I was the best in my class for 6 years. I will say that any day, anytime, for 6 years. Best overall student. And I'll explain how I did that. But JSS2, I came out best. And I didn't just come out best, I took the subjects I wanted to take. Being best in like the maths, English, and every other one. Like the normal first parallel was the goal. So if I would check my JSS2 results again, you'll probably see that same 15 first and then excluding Yoruba. That kind of thing. If I missed anything, maybe just one more, and was not made up of 14 first. But the idea was that I hit best overall again, and in most essential subjects, and in a very satisfying way. But what did these new people that came, what did they do to me? They made me better. I mean, like, they spurred me. They brought out, they brought out the fire in me, Don't always. And now, in my next episode of Talk, I'll be referring to when we now went for like our first, real competition, like what they call the Cowbell Mathematicspedia, and that was in GSS 3. I'll be talking about how we did. These 3 people were with me for that particular competition, and these 2 people rather were 3 that sat for that competition, and it was superb experience. In all, what is the lesson? Either for my first video, my first talk, and this is that you have to have a mental toughness. You have to keep yourself story. You also have to be able to allow some of the challenges that you go through. I mean, when people challenge you, I will tell you how all through my story, what people have said has been rather than being a drop off, something that lowers me, it has been a springboard. So the guys will be next, not a bad statement, but it's like a challenge. And I took it on, and God helped me, but I had to do my part. And it was scary, man. She almost did it. The guy too that came all the way to challenge me, they almost did it. What I mean by they almost did it, they put forth a challenge, but I had to sit back and get better. Some of those things people have said concerning you, some of those things you are currently facing that seem to be like the moments where you are downcast and all of that stuff, they can help you achieve that goal. Stick to it. There will be very scary moments. Wake up and do the job. I used to tell my friends something. I would say, be more bothered about putting in the effort than about the consequences or the results. Make sure that you were all in. Don't have any regret as to how much could I have put in, or did I actually test the extent of my strength. Put in that strength, put in that effort, and I will see you at the top. See you in my next video. Thank you for watching.